Hey guys, Civic Malz. So today marks episode 2 of making our Malefic visions, and I'm basically just going to go through the final part of the process. We've done brewing, we've done letting it sit. So all we have to do is pour it into a secondary bucket where we will be adding a coffee blend, basically just a cold brew coffee, and then letting that sit for about 2 more days. I'll keep you updated on that, and then you can get to pouring and bottling, and then we'll get to the taste test. I'll try and do a calculation for running the ABV, so we'll see what our final gravity is after the 2 weeks. Technically, I think you can do more things, but I just kind of want to drink the beer and see what we made. So that's what it's gonna be. So let's do it. So I just wanted to show, I've kept it covered ever since that last video. Bucket's still here, still good. As you can see, the airlock, a lot of the water over here is in the right side. And yeah, accidentally I put a little bit of pressure on here, because you got to think, the airlock's keeping air from getting back in. So this lid is kind of pumped up a bit from all the CO2 being released by the yeast. So it's still working. That's what we're saying, is that it still works. It's airtight. I've been looking at this the past day and a half about when I got back. No real activity, meaning the yeast is finished eating all the sugar water we basically created. And you would like to see more bubbles come out. That's how you know that you still have a process going, but it's been like this for a long time. So put a little pressure, boom. That's how it works. Another thing we got too, we'll probably put it in this bucket. There's a big bucket you can get at Menards for like, I don't know, $5. And I'm basically just gonna put a ton of ice in there, and then we're gonna do what's called cold crashing. So the plan is take off the lid, put it into a secondary bucket. So this was made from the crap beer that turned out bad, so that sucks. But we're basically going to cold crash it. So we're gonna transfer everything into here, except for there's a thing called a trudge. So maybe like, I don't know, a 5-gallon bucket, maybe like this much is bad. Like most of your beer here to here would be good, but there's something that the yeast leaves behind as it reacts. And it could just be the yeast in general that's just chilling at the bottom. So we don't want that in our beer. You don't want to be drinking, sediment. So we are going to transfer all the top part of the liquid into this bucket. And I'll probably show what it looks like afterwards. What I think it's called the trudge, but what all that gross stuff at the bottom looks like. And if you think back to that video, so if you think back to the video where I was looking and I was like, WTF is this? This doesn't look like beer at all. Well, it really wasn't, because when I was pulling from the bottom of my the spigot spout, that was all of that, what I think is called the trudge. It was all just like the bottom bad part, the yeast, anything else that's reacted from that fermentation reaction. So we're basically pulling the bad part of the beer to even test. So it's bad part to test, bad part to taste, bad part to look at. So the beer that I actually made turned out, it was still pale. It wasn't really clear like a lager or anything like that. So we have some work to do there, but it wasn't as bad as what that video showed in that little test tube. It actually looked kind of more like a beer. We should have taken more measurements from maybe up top, or we should have just transferred this out into a different bucket. But I only have 2 buckets, so you'll see when I do the stuff today. You'll see the stuff at the bottom that we're gonna kind of throw away, and then the stuff at the top that we're gonna keep and we're gonna test. Okay. So to kick things off, grab I made a pre-made solution of that Star San stuff, the nice cleaning sanitizer. I'm just gonna spray the insides of the second bucket just to make sure it's all clean. I washed my hands and everything, so that's what we're doing here. Around, make sure you get the inside, there's an inside spigot. Make sure you get all that in there, and then, I don't know, if I had more water or something, I'd do more with it, but just trying to coat it, make sure it's all good, and then, we drain it, but it's non-rinse, so don't rinse anything on the inside. You might screw everything up. This is where the men are made. This is where we see if we made some big money off of some nice brews. Smells like a beer. This is so hard, bro. God damn. Now for the result. Ooh, still looks like my dark beer. So far that's good. So it looks like beer, smells like beer. Question is, did we actually make beer? Because the original gravity, if I remember, was about 1.06. So it looks like it definitely went down, which is good because there was more of it in the last one. So let us see here. We're at about a, let's see if that thing focuses in. Oh, there you go. 1.021. So 1.061 minus 1.021 is about a difference of 4 basis points. So let's type this in right here. All right, look at this. Original gravity, 1.061. Final gravity, 1.021. Unless if I'm crazy, I think we got ourselves a beer. Got a 5.25 ABV beer. Look at that bad boy. We haven't put the coffee in yet. Oh, it looks like beer. Smells like beer. Seems that we made beer, but does it taste like beer? We're gonna try it out. Yeah, it tastes like any kind of regular old beer I'd probably be getting somewhere else. That's kind of crazy. Dude, that's actually good. What? Oh my God. Okay. So I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm gonna try and bottle one of these beers. So this just tastes, I haven't put any of the coffee stuff in it. You could put in things like, I don't know, marshmallows, the cocoa nibs for chocolate, anything like that. But I think for the presence of what we're doing right now, I'm probably just gonna bottle one beer because this actually tastes good. This is crazy. So I'm gonna bottle it, just maybe like a few, just so I have a few, but then I'm gonna go through with the next step, which is putting it into the next thing in the next bucket, putting it with coffee, and then doing what's called a cold crash. And the cold crash is basically gonna pull out any extra yeast that may have been in there, like I was saying, the sedimenty stuff. Plus, I don't know, I see everyone doing it online. That's what they say they do, so let's see it. Guys, I do want you guys to see this because I made a beer. It's not Spotted Cow. I have my own random cap on it. But this is the beer that I tried to make before, and they came out really crappy. But I mean, I let this sit in the fridge for a while. There's like priming sugar tablets that I used. So we'll see what happens when I open it. Not really much of a pop or anything like that. But let me pour it to you guys. It looks a lot different compared to what it did a long time ago. I guess this is also kind of why you cold crash things, is it brings out the haziness color. But I mean, it looks kind of like a beer, you know? Looks like a beer, it's very pale, but I mean, it smells bad. It smells, like I said, like a LaCroix with, you know, being farmed next to some hops in a wheat field like 2 miles away, kind of like Water Spring. It tastes, it's kind of sparkly and bubbly like a water, kind of like a carbonated water, but I mean, it's garbage. So this beer, I think it came out to be like literally 1%, or no, not even 1%, like 0.5%. So it's just not worth it. So whatever. That's not it, Chief. But yes, this doesn't look as bad as it did in that prior video. All right, let me see if you guys can see this too. So it's the same thing. So this is from the top of the bucket, and then this is from the bottom of the bucket. So I can see it definitely clear in my own vision, but this one right here is a bit more dark, like black, and then this one's more like, let's say chocolatey. It's kind of more brownish, has more brown hues in it than it does, you know, just a straight black. I think you can kind of see the comparison if I put them next to each other. Yeah, this one looks a tiny bit lighter. This is the trudge, this is the bottom of the barrel, and I'll see when I get to actually dumping it. But a lot more of this stuff, I can already see it in the inside. It looks like a snow globe. If you shake a snow globe and you see all the stuff floating around, that's kind of what this looks like, as to where this is like a clear, pure liquid that is delicious and drinkable. It's Malefic visions in the making. All right, so what we have here, clean sanitized bucket, first primary bucket, fermenting bucket, with the goods, transferring it over into here. Hopefully I don't mess this up. and I'll have it on camera. All right. That's what you thought I was gonna do. I'm just gonna put on the ground. That's so much easier, but I can't get the recording. I can't record down there. Down. Hard to find. I don't have a little camera stick for it. So I'll just show you. I'll show you the after. Before I forget, just a little note. About 4.5 gallons. All right, so we're at the bottom of this. You can kind of see it there, but when I lift this up to pour, like you see, that's not the bottom of the bucket. That's like a thick mud. Okay, and then your beer's right here. So thick mud beer. That's what they call a trudge, and that's what I was drinking at the start of that one video. So I think I'm gonna stop here and either try and siphon this out, or I don't know what, but I'm gonna definitely try and keep that separate from the crap that's there. See, that's the bottom of the bucket. So what I'm adding into my beer is cold brew coffee. Very simple process. I let this one go for about 12 hours. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe in our updated versions of Malefic Visions, we can tweak the recipe a bit, but you know, just, I think it was 48.6 grams of coarsely ground coffee. I used the Kenya beans from my buddy Pure Earth Coffee. Awesome, goated company. So yeah, I just made that, steeped it for about 12 hours. It smells really good actually. It smells very smooth and nice. So we're just gonna take this out. Again, I have clean hands, so it's okay. Make sure we get all the rest of that coffee juice in there. Yeah, yeet. And so now, we'll just pour it in. Pour it in, cap the lid, and then put it in our ice bath, and we're good to go until it's ready to bottle. So it's about 3:30 p.m. Nice little Thursday afternoon. We're letting the cold crash go. Again, if you had like a fridge or mini fridge or something like that, if I had a smaller bucket, stick it inside of the fridge, but you know, whatever. Whatever happens, happens, you know? That's the goal in life, just to make it through. Hey guys, it's finally day that we can start bottling this beer. I'm very excited, and yeah. So we let the cold crash happen, and basically we let it sit, you know, 2-3 days, and I put it in a bucket of ice water. I don't have a cooler, gotta figure that out, but coffee flavor should be infused. The beer should be tasting good. We'll bottle it up and take a sip today. And there she is. I'm gonna take her out and bottle her up. Let's get it. All right, this was too good of an opportunity not to pass up. So I got an auto siphon here, all sterilized and clean, hooked up to the spigot. You turn the spigot, and then basically you push down on this little black button at the bottom of the bottles, and then it'll fill up all the way up till about the neck, and then you stop. And I will show the finished product in a second. Well, all right, my friends, let's pop her open. A little bit of zip, not really much carbonation going on in this beer, but hey man, cheers. We made a good beer. Pour. Yeah, pretty chill. Nice little 10-ounce glass. I mean, there's still a little bit left in here, but hey, we made beer. We made coffee beer. Cheers. It's cheers to the weekend, to everyone out there just making it happen. This is Malefic Visions, and very happy with this beer. A lot more to be done, but that's a pretty tasty beer. So I'm very happy with it. We are going to be tweaking the recipe a little bit. I want to have as many friends as I can taste this beer. I have a bunch of them in my fridge. I have maybe like 30 or 40 bottles left. So I have that. I have some 30, 40 bottles, just normal bottles. I have the big, I filled them into like big bomber bottles, which is about, you know, 22, 32 ounce bottles. So quite a bit of variety depending on your enjoyment needs. But yeah, we got a nice beer. Nice and dark, man. Nice and dark coffee porter. So very impressed. This is the second beer that I've ever tried to brew. And first beer, as you guys saw, did not turn out well. This is the second one, so very happy with the result. And we're gonna keep doing this. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna be putting on the channel. Probably we'll hit it up with some more League of Legends games because just can't get enough of League of Legends. I've been on a massive gaming spree lately of, you know, playing games. I'm pretty much deadlocked at a 50% win rate, somewhere around Emerald, high Emerald, low Diamond. I just can't seem to break that wall. So until we do so, you know, this is where we're at. We're making beer on the side. I might try out some different things for the channel. Not entirely sure. There were a few like life event things that I'm going to be doing. I'm like hiking a mountain, so I might record me hiking the mountain. Might drink some beer at the top. I'm definitely gonna be making more beer videos, and then we'll see. League of Legends videos, beer videos, IRL content. Don't really know what's going on in chat. What are we thinking, chat? Type ones in the chat if you agree. You think that's a good idea. And we're just having some fun. You know, this is a side hobby. Fun to do, very easy to learn. I quite literally watched YouTube videos for maybe like 2 or 3 hours on end, just looking at different brewing processes, brewing different beers, and it doesn't take too much. It's water, grain, hops, and yeast. You make sugar water, put in hops for flavoring and for bitterness, hoppiness, and then yeast eats it all and makes beautiful alcohol. So cheers, guys. Here's to the next one.